What's up, beautiful people? It's your girl, Andell. Welcome back to this episode of my Self Love Diaries. This is your guide to slaying life, starting over, and glowing up. On this episode, we're going to be diving into some of my tips and tricks on setting your boundaries. I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks on how to set boundaries so that you can live your best life stress-free and drama-free. Let's get into it. My first tip is to identify your limits. This has to be one of the most important things you can do when you are setting your boundaries. Do you like when someone calls you after 9 p.m.? Do you like to answer the phone at 6 a.m.? How do you want to be spoken to? How do you want people to address you? What do you prefer? Do you prefer when somebody just gets your phone number and they calling you on FaceTime? Like things that you used to accept in the past, you might not accept them now. So I would really sit there and identify your limits, even if you have to write them down, which I believe is a very good step to just beginning that process. Writing down what your limits are. Like if you traditionally work from 9 to 5, and I know there are days where you can go above and beyond, but if you traditionally work from 9 to 5 and someone wants you to stay late or someone wants you to cover, know your limits. You might have to just say, no, I can't do that today. It's okay to know your limits and it's okay to stand up for yourself, but the only way that you can know your limits is to identify them, because if you do not identify your limits, you will become resentful and you will put yourself in situations that you don't have no business in. And the clearer your boundaries, the less stressed you're gonna be, I promise you. My next tip is for you to communicate clearly, okay? Use your voice, let people know what you like and what you don't like. Let people hear exactly what it is that makes you you. People who respect you will respect your boundaries. People who respect you will respect your boundaries. Communicate your boundaries with people in a clear, concise way without being passive aggressive, without being rude. And people who respect you will respect your boundaries. My next point is to be consistent. Be consistent with your boundaries. No one is going to respect your boundaries if you are not consistently reinforcing them, if you are not consistently adhering to them. If your boundary is that you are going to be staying in on Friday nights, instead of going out, you're gonna be staying in. It's your wind down time. This is a time where, you're pouring into yourself. Maybe you're pouring yourself a glass of wine. Maybe you're kicking it with your bros. Or maybe, whatever you're doing on this Friday for you, sky's the limit. That is your boundary. Now, when your friend calls you at 5 o'clock and invites you out to go to the club, know that you might not be standing firm on your boundaries if you do decide to go. Because whenever you make a promise to yourself, you need to stick to that promise to yourself. No one is going to be impacted by that promise but you. If you say you're not available after 9 p.m., stick to that. Do not wiggle at 9:30. Do not wiggle at 10 p.m. If you're not available, you said you're not available, stick to you not being available. This helps to reinforce your boundaries and it helps for others to respect them. They will respect you and they will respect your boundaries because you are respecting you and you are respecting your boundaries. I don't feel like you need to be a tree and just make a decision and you gotta stick to it and that's just it. I don't believe in that. While we're in the stage of starting life over, I believe it's so important to observe and adjust. Observe and adjust. What might be working for you then might not work for you now, and it's important to observe and adjust. Even when it comes to boundaries, that is okay. I might have had a boundary yesterday that I might change today. As long as the whole theme of it is consistent, I believe that is okay. My next boundary is one of my favorite boundaries. And that is to learn to say no. No is a full sentence. I sometimes am working through this because I genuinely do love helping people. I might have a dash of people pleaser. I think a lot of people do in a sense. I do love to say no. Like when I really do not want to do something, I can say no. I can make it very, very clear that no, I'm not doing that. Or no, just don't really feel like it. Or you want to go here, not really. Like I know when I really, really, really am like no. But I have not always been this way. I have not always been at this place that I am today. One thing that I realized when I have said yes to things in the past, that I really meant no, I regretted every moment, every breath in it, every second of it. And I don't know about you, but that resentment feels heavy. it's an extra load that is just unnecessary to bear. Like, why did I do this to myself? Why did I decide to do this? I could have just said no. Sometimes it might be hard to say no to people that you love, but guess what? Everybody will be okay. The world stops and then it carries on. Like, world stop, carry on. It's gonna be okay. Saying no is tough, but it's necessary, and it doesn't make you a bad person. It just means that you know how to preserve and conserve your energy when necessary. Sometimes don't go crazy with the no's, but start to say no. And even when it comes to yourself, when it comes to setting boundaries, like maybe you might have worked hard, maybe you might have had a hard workout this week and you did really, really good. But your goal is to stay fit, and Rome is not built in a day. So even if you do have a great workout week, you have to consistently maintain that great workout structure and that great workout week. Therefore, you might have a cheat day, but after the cheat day, should you be eating that chocolate cake? You know, like if you have goals, should you be eating that? And that's where you have to say no to yourself. No, we cannot have that. We have bigger goals. I am in the process of purchasing a juicer. Juicing is great for my health and wellness. I am super excited about that. And there's a juicer that I want that is $550. I told myself, does this make sense to purchase that right now? It's my first juicer. I'm not too sure if I'm even gonna really like it. I really have no experience. Yes, I can buy it a couple times over, but does it actually make sense right now? It's so cute. The juicer is so cute. But I ended up telling myself, no, like, no, we're not gonna do that right now. I need to see you actually really love this. I need to see you actually really trying this. We need to see exactly what's going on, and then we can get us a better juicer. So it's okay to say no, not only to your friends, family, but also to yourself. And for my last tip, this tip is super important, and it just really reinforces how much you matter. Your self-care is important. Let's say that again. Your self-care is important. And your self-care is non-negotiable, baby. It's non-negotiable, boo. You cannot negotiate with that self-care. Make your self-care a priority, whatever that looks like for you. Traditionally, people love to do bubble baths. You might have a glass of wine. You might read a book. You might enjoy quiet time. Carve out some time for you. Set boundaries within your work. Set boundaries for yourself. I know a lot of times, especially I'm a culprit of it, where you decide that, I've been working so hard and I have goals to reach and I can't take a break. But baby, when it comes to your health, you need to take a break. You need to detach. You need to rest. You need to allow yourself the boundary of self-care being a priority. I promise you things will flow better. I promise you that you will feel better. I promise you that you'll have energy that you didn't even know you had because you allowed yourself to rest, because you weren't so head focused and you weren't so in grind mode. It's okay to rest. I'm learning this. I've gotten better at it. And I used to feel like I didn't deserve rest. I was just like, I had to go. I have goals to reach. But then I end up getting burnt out. And it is part of the reason that I have overcome my depression. And it was part of the reason that sent me into a space of isolation. So for that reason, I just want to really, really stress the importance of self-care and really setting a boundary that allows it to be non-negotiable. And remember, boundaries are not about keeping people out. They are about setting a safe space where love and respect can flourish. All right, beautiful. That is the end of this video. I hope that you enjoyed the tips and tricks that I shared about setting your boundaries. It's important to identify your limits, be consistent, communicate clearly, learn to say no, and knowing that self-care is non-negotiable and it is a priority for you and for your well-being. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. That helps this algorithm to push this content to not only help you, but also to help anyone out there that is looking for these resources just be a better version of themselves. As always, leave me a comment. I love when you guys comment. It just allows me to know that you have received this message. You have made it to this part of the video, and I truly appreciate every single comment. It keeps me going. It allows me to just be, I have a purpose in this world and I'm helping you. Share this with a friend and do not forget to subscribe to the channel. We are growing. We are currently at 7,276 subscribers. which has grown a lot since I've been starting this series. So I am super excited for this journey. I feel like I'm really walking in my purpose with this. And I thank you guys for tuning into this video to really better yourself. As always, I thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of the Self Love Diaries, your guide to slaying life, starting over, and glowing up. Have an amazing day.